Hello everyone, this is Devabrata and let's start a new series of classes with linked list, and we will do that using the language Python. So it will be entirely a new topic. All the links and everything details you will be looking for will be provided in the description section. So I hope you have already know something in Python. If you are following my classes, then it's fine. If you are not, I will guess you have at least the basic concept of how we create object in Python. That will be needed here. Just the basic concept. I'm not talking about too much logic in Python. It is not just the basic knowledge of class and object, constructor that will be needed simply. And as per my experience, these classes, like it always takes 3 days. First 3 days, you will not able to do anything. You will not be able to write any single line code as per my experience. But fourth day onwards, you will be able to write something because linked list is entirely something new. It was not there in your Python series of classes. It was not there. So yeah, even if you are starting here and if you experience the same, you can say something in the comment section, because it will boost up or it will give some confidence to the newcomer, like yeah, it really happens. Like on the first 3 days, if you are not able to write a single line code, no need to be worried. Like it is normal. Okay, so for today, just it will be enough if you just understand what I'm writing. That's all. You do not need to think like, okay, why I'm not able to write the code. Just follow what is written. Just I will probably maximum I will show you 5 functions today, or 5 functions or 5 features of linked list. So just try to understand that. It will be only it will be enough for today. Okay. So that's the thing I want to say. So before starting the topic, I want to give you some idea how our memory works. So our memory is, I will give you let me give you some instances, and just let us check if it really happens to you or not. So the first thing is, suppose the first scenario, like you have purchased one 4 GB uh, pen drive, say. So in that pen drive, you have loaded 4 movies, each of 1 GB size. Suppose 4 movies you have loaded. Okay, let me draw something, then it will be more clear to you. Suppose I have loaded few movies. There, 4 movies. Obviously, the memory will be full. It more looks like a phone battery, but it is not. I'm trying to show you something on the pen drive. Say, so now you have already watched the movie number one and movie number three, so you deleted those. So now you have 2 GB full and 2 GB empty in your pen drive. So now, if you are thinking to load a movie with a good quality, suppose with 2 GB size. So my simple question: can you load that movie or not? Means you have 2 GB empty, but not in a same place, not continuously. So can you load a 2 GB movie here? Yes or no? So obviously, if you do not know all those memory things, because obviously all those are managed by the operating system, you shouldn't know all those details. But in reality, if you have 2 GB empty space, obviously you can load a movie of 2 GB. So internally, it might be loaded in separate places, but it will be loaded. So you do not need to take the tension how it is being loaded in two parts, but it will be loaded. And there will be a link internally that will manage by your operating system. Okay, so that link we are talking about today. Again, it is not a good way to start, because if you follow the other tutorials, it is not a good way to start with the phenomenon or the with the nature of memory, because it is not relevant. But I feel it is relevant because Linked list is an entirely new topic, so you have to understand why we are learning this. What is extra? Because we have already done something called array, where we can keep a number of values. But in linked list, we will do the same, but in the separate places. In array, we used to take, in array means list or array, whatever you call it. So in list or array, we take all the values in a same place continuously. But what if we do not have the enough space for all the values in a continuously? Then shouldn't we load that thing, like the example of this movie? If we have 2 GB free space but not continuously, shouldn't we load that movie? Answer is yes, we can. There will be some link between two parts, but trust me, in real memory, after using it 2 years, 3 years down the lane, the full memory become fragmented. So I am talking about, if I go to Google, so there is one option in Windows even, in all operating system, like defragmentation. So you can do that. If you check, there is some steps you can do. Defragmentation means after using 3 years, your computer, your memory is broken into several pieces. So suppose you are trying to load a 2 GB movie in your hard disk or in your pen drive, it will be available, but your movie will be loaded in multi parts. Here I have shown only 2 parts. Probably it will be stored in 100 parts, something like that. Okay, so you can make them defragmentation again. So by doing defragmentation, all the memory will be shorted out again, and the movie, suppose you have loaded a 2 GB movie in a different places, it will come back together. So that is the approach. But again, all these things are managed by computer itself, the operating system. You do not need to take any headache for that. Okay, so even if it is stored in 1,000 pieces, you do not have any tension. So the next scenario, if I check, like you have a 100 GB hard disk, you purchase some computer in 2025, and you have 50 GB occupied and 50 GB free. So now what will happen if you load a same 5 GB web series in 2025? And what will happen if you load the same series in 2027? All other conditions are same. 50 GB is occupied, 50 GB is free, every else thing is same. Then obviously in 2025, when your computer is new, at that time, or computer probably not new, hard disk is new, so at that time it will take less time. Why? Because it was continuous memory are available. 50 GB free means 50 GB continuous memory. You mean, you are able to understand, right, what I'm trying to mean, like, continuous memory, what I'm talking about. Continuous means it is thoroughly free, means in one place, so you can put the 5 GB web series in 50 GB memory easily. But in 2027, after using a hard disk 2 years almost, so if you try to load that 5 GB web series, so it will be loaded in parts. So in each parts, computer or operating system needs to create some link, and it will take some extra time to make those links. And that's why the second case in here will take more time. Okay, so that I was trying to say. So we can take an example, like you invited few people, and for some purpose, for some event, and 10 people came with car. So now if you try to find, suppose if there is one place available where you can put where you can park all 10 cars, it will take less time. You can just say like, okay, park them thoroughly, continuously, one after another. It is good. It is a good way. But if you do not have parking for 10 continuous parking for cars, obviously you will find some empty spaces in the parking lot. So suppose if you get one parking free, so you will say like, okay, first car park here. So you got two more parking continuously in some other floor or some other place. So you will say like, okay, park it here. So you have to take a note as well, like where are you parking all the cars? So you have to take a note, like, okay, on this corner I have parked one car. On that floor, in another floor, you have parked two other cars, something like that in a parking space. Okay, so it will take an extra time to manage all those things. That's why in the second scenario, it will take more time. Okay, so now if I proceed, suppose again, your memory is same memory, everything else is same. Now 50 GB memory is full and you are trying to load a 5 GB movie. And in the second case, 90 GB memory is full, you are trying to load a 5 GB movie. In both the cases, it will be loaded. But in the second case, it will take more time because the memory is less. Probably it is fragmented. You will not get a continuous space to load a 5 GB movie. So it will be loaded partly, and you have to take a note of where you are loading those movies. So you have to create the link between the spaces. Suppose 5 GB will be loaded, obviously, because I can see 10 GB memory is free in the second case. But here, probably your movie will be loaded in the parts. Like, okay, first part here, got some space, second part here, third part here, fourth part here, accordingly. And you, again, you do not need to take all those tensions because you do not know even. You are just playing the movie and watching the movie. That's all. The rest of the parts will be handled by computer itself. So there will be a connection from first part to second part, from second part to third part, and third part to fourth part. Something like that will be created by the operating system. And for that link creation, it will take some time. Again, all of these will be handled internally without your knowledge. Okay, you do not need to take any tension for that. So now if I proceed, so the fourth scenario, suppose you are copying a movie of 5 GB from D drive to E drive. And in the second scenario, from the same drive, from folder 1 to folder 2, where you take more time. Obviously, you can do that now even. You can pause this class and you can check right now. So right away we can check, like, from if you are copying something from different drive, obviously that will take some time. But for the same drive, obviously nothing will happen. Just suppose you have a movie in multi-parts. So let me draw again the multi-parts. So obviously that movie will be, suppose you are copying it from folder 1 to folder 2. Previously, it was a part of folder 1. Let me try to draw something. Suppose here it is. It was a part of the folder 1. Let me write. So now, whenever on the same drive, if you are copying that if into folder 2, then, okay, let me write it here as well, folder 2. So it means it will just delete this connection and it will be referred from folder 2. That's all. The copy means nothing exactly get copied in that way. So now it will be reference from folder 2, not anymore from folder 1. So folder 2 will refer to the first address of this memory block. So we are always interested on the first address of the memory block. Okay, on the first address. So suppose, again, we do not need to take the tension. So memory actually always stores the first address. So suppose the first address is 1000. The second memory block address is, suppose it is 500. It might be earlier as well. And this memory block is having some address called 2000, say. So in folder 1, always the head or the starting block address will be written. Because if you get the starting, then you will get everything serially one by one. Probably it is the second part is stored at the 500 address, last part is stored at 2000 address, doesn't matter. You have the address for the starting block. If you can start the movie, it will automatically fetch the next part of movies. And it happens in reality in your machine itself. It is called defragmentation. But again, the scenario I'm talking about here, if you copy something from the same drive from some folder to other folder, it is going to take less time. You can try that even. So here actually nothing nothing is copied. We just change the reference. So previously folder 1 was referring to the first memory block. Now folder 2 is referring to the first memory block. And we always store the first address for the first address of the first memory space. The rest of the things will be retrieved automatically. Okay. Second, whenever I'm telling we means I'm talking about the operating system, not manually we are doing anything. But here today we will try to learn how to create those memory connections, or in better word, how we can link them. So that is called linked list. So now here, first I will create a class called node. How to do that? And what is class node? So how it is logically stored? Let me show you one by one. So let me go to the online Python compiler. So I am going for the online GDP compiler. You can open anywhere. So first I am going to create something called class node. And here I'm going to define two variables using constructor. And again, I'm assuming you know the basic concept of class and object that I was telling at the starting of the class. Not many things, just the basic concept. So here I'm just defining one value here. That's just one value here that will come from outside. I will show how. And here, this node or box, you can call it box as well, whatever. But most of the time in the internet you can see, if you check later, it will be used, the name node will be used. That's why I'm using that name, because in future it will be easier for you to make to understand what is written in those websites. So that's why I'm choosing the common name node. So a node is like a box where we will store two things, like data. Data is simply whatever we will receive from outside, the value v. You can put anything, you can put val, anything. For the timing I'm putting v to make it short. Whatever I'm getting, I'm putting into the data parts. And node or a box contain another part that is called self.next. And next is basically, for the time being, I will put none. None means nothing. So what is this next part? It is basically another box. Again, it is basically another box. It might confuse you. It is another node. So a node is having two parts. One part is integer, that is called data. Another part is node, that is called next. So if I just go to the slide again, so it looks like something like this. You suppose you have three boxes. So how it looks? One box or node, whatever you call it, having an integer part like 10. On the second part, it has another node or box, whatever you say. In that part, you are having the first part as an integer that is called data. It is having the value 20. And you have another box in the second part. So first part is data, that is integer. It is pretty known by us. We have done a lot of things in our Python classes. Even if you have some basic idea of Python, you have handled integer value, obviously. And on the second part, I'm just putting a place for another box. For the time being, I'm putting it none, nothing I'm putting inside. But this next actually will hold another box. But again, if you find it tough, I can explain what exactly happened, because obviously this kind of boxes cannot be built. Then the first box has to be too large. The first node has to be too big. Second node will be this bigger, not the biggest, something like that. But it is not, obviously not possible. Means in physical way. So physically what happened? Actually, we have something like this. So the first node having two parts, you have seen. First node having two parts. The first part is an integer which is holding some value like 10. And the second part will be pointing out to another memory block or another node. Memory block will be too tough term here. So another node. So that node will also have two parts. In the first part, it will hold some integer like 20. And on the second part, it will refer to another node. And that node also having the two parts. First part, it will hold some value. And on the second part, if you want to end it here, you can put null. null, or you can put none as well. So the programming way, it will be none. Okay, so we call it sometime null. Null means nothing. You can call it none. None means also nothing, something. And some people also prefer to make some drawing like our physics classes. Though I do not like physics much, but still they used to give some sign of grounding or something. I forgot what it is called in our electricity classes. I have seen that in our electricity classes in physics lessons. So here they prefer to give some sign like, okay, it is ending and it is ground, it is going to the ground, something like that. So it is something happening here. So I'm just trying to create that class node. Okay, so that was the first topic. We will learn only 3 topics today, and we will try to build 5 functions there. So what are the functions? We will try to create a menu with these things. We will try to learn how we are inserting, how we are handling these 5 features. So first, without thinking twice, what I will do, I will just try to create a menu like that. So where I will first try to print. Okay, first I will try to take a variable called loop, and that will be true. And I will introduce a while loop that will run forever. And inside that, I'm going to print some menu. Like I will say enter 1 for insert at beginning, say enter 2 for something else. Let me do that very quickly. So here I have introduced quickly, I put the screen on hold just to make it quick for you without, you do not need to stay here while I'm typing something. So to make it quick, I just type all those things like 1 for insert at beginning, 2 for insert at ending. So whenever you try to insert something from the end, if you want to delete something, you can go for 3. 4 will delete something from the end, 5 will display, and 6 will be to exit all these things. So let me create a menu very quickly. After that, I will take some choice from the user, and I will store that in the variable called ch. Ch means choice. So if the choice is 1, what will I do? Let's see. If the choice is, if the choice is 2, what will I do? Let me write as well. So all those things will be written in this manner. And before that, before doing all those things, I will also define a class called linked list. Define a class called linked list, and that will be our target to design that class. So let me define a class called linked list. And here, okay, I will define that. Obviously, that will be our task in topic 3. But here, I will just create one object of that class linked list. Suppose let it be Guha with my name. So Guha equals to linked list. So probably, as I was saying on the starting of the class, it requires a basic knowledge how you can declare one object of one class. So it is simply an object. If you know that, you will be able to find it is very easy. We are defining an object of the class linked list. That's all. That's all. So now here I will call if user click on 1. So I will call something like Guha dot insert at beginning, something. Okay, you can give any name. I'm just giving it like this. Insert at beginning. For ch2, I will put something. For ch3, I will put something, ch4, and accordingly. Let me type it very quickly. ch5. If anyone click on exit, then what I will do, I will make the loop variable as false. It is very simple thing. Do not focus on that part. It is a variable with name loop. So I make it true. That's why this while loop will go forever. So whenever you choose to exit, I simply turn this loop variable to false. So the next time it will experience false here and the loop will be stopped. Simply. And let me introduce a last thing. If anyone put some value apart from that, then I will put something like invalid choice. Apart from these 6 choices, if anyone choose something else, like if anyone enter 10, so he or she will be able to see something like invalid choice, and that's all. So I will fill this up one by one. So let me start with insert at beginning, how it looks. So obviously I need to, if you have the basic concept of class and object, so obviously if we are calling Guha dot insert at beginning, so Guha is an object of linked list class. So obviously, definitely, we have to have something here. Def insert at beginning. Probably Python is case sensitive, so let me make it small. So here I will do another thing. I will insert some value v, and that value will be coming because you are inserting something. Obviously, the computer will ask you, enter the value you want to insert. Enter the value you want to insert, something like that. Okay, computer will obviously ask, and you will pass this value with this function. It is a parameter, you know, probably. Again, if you do not know, I will paste the link of this class and object oriented class, and also I will paste the link of the full playlist. You can have a look what I'm trying to mean, but it is something like this. Insert at beginning, I'm calling it with a value called v. So obviously here we will receive the value v, and let's see how we can do the things. So but this is the concept of creating the menu. It will keep running and running and running until you press 6. And that's what is mentioned in the topic 2. And it is very easy. You can try that yourself and let me know if you are facing some errors. Just let me know in the comment section. I will try to make you understand, or I will try to find the reason of getting the errors. So if I go to the topic 3 and the last topic for the day, where we will build all those functions when one by one, all those methods. So let's start with insert at beginning. So if you get some value from the users and it is supposed to be added at the starting, how you can do that? That is the question. So here, what you will do, you can create a box equals to node with that value called v. You can create a box with a node v. So what does it mean by node v? You can see at the top here the v will come. V is just a value passing from one function to another, and you are defining something called a box. Let me draw it somewhere in memory, randomly created somewhere in memory. Something with name box will be created, and obviously that will have a two parts. Let me make it big. Obviously that will have a two parts. On the first part, suppose you put the value. Suppose the user has inserted 10. So we are putting the value on the first part. And then the second part, you are putting none. None means nothing. And you are calling it as a box. So I'm just trying to draw the picture line by line as I'm writing as well. So here, whenever I'm trying to write this box equals to node v, it will go to the class node, and it will create something like this. Okay, simply you can check. And again, what I told you at the starting of the class, don't be puzzled. It will take 3 classes to understand that fully. So your goal should be to, whatever I'm saying, just to understand. Do not think much like how we can do that and something. No. And in this linked list class, I will take just only one variable. What is that? That we call it head. So during the constructor of this linked list class, because whenever I will create the object of the linked list class, this variable should be created, and we call it head. It will only store the first address of these memory blocks, or first address of all these boxes. So self.head equals to none. Again, if I repeat, class node is there to define a node which is having two parts. First part is integer, second part is some address or something that will point to some other boxes. For the time being, I kept it none for simplicity. Linked list class is having one variable that is called head. It will always store the first address or first box or first node. If you have several, suppose you have 5 boxes or 5 nodes, it will only store the first one. So we call it head. So now we have started with insert at the beginning. We got a value from outside called v. We created a box with that value v using the node class. So that is the first step. Now I will check our variable that is called head. That is the only variable. This box and all will be the local variable. Whenever the function will be ended, this box will be gone. But self.head is something that is permanent. So I will check if self.head is none or not. So I will just check if self.head is none or not. Obviously it is none because nothing is there. I can see nothing is there in the picture as well. So head is empty. If head is empty, then just put self.head equals to box. Box is a local variable. It will be disappeared after a few minutes whenever this function will be done because it is declared inside the function. So outside this function, when will come again, it will not exist. It will be created again. But self of dot head is created in a class level. That means it will always going to stay. So here, whenever I'm finding head is none, obviously we cannot see head anywhere in the picture. So head is none basically. Then I will do one thing. I will name this thing as head. This box will be named as head. So whenever the function is completed, there will be nothing such as box, but head will still stay there. Next time, again, someone entered, suppose 1, and it will ask for the value to be entered. Someone entered as 20. 20 at insert at beginning. So suppose if anyone entered 20, then again, the first line will be executed here, box equals to node 20, and it will go here and create a box with 20. So let me create that box somewhere in the memory. So suppose we create the box here. It will be named as box. And again, it will be having 2 parts. Let me draw that. That is important. It will be having a 2 parts. The first part name we will give as 20 and the second part will be none as per the theory. Whatever is written, I'm doing the same. So now box part is ready. The first line is already executed. Now I will check if self.head is none. Answer is no, it is not none. I can see something is there with the name head. So obviously it is not none. There is something with head. I can see the value 10 even. So what I will do, I will simply create a connection from box dot next to head. So how to create this connection? So let me write the code. It will be very first time for you. So else if the head is not null, if head is not none, I will do box dot next equals to self dot head. So this box will create a connection with the head, and head will be shifted to that box. So first I will create a connection between box dot next to head. That is the very first time you will be doing. So obviously it will no more be none. So box dot next is now pointing to head, and head will be shifted to this part. Now this node with 20 will be called as head. So obviously after the function, there will be no box. So head will be starting from here. And as the name suggests, we are inserting at the beginning. Same thing will happen another time if you insert something like 30. So suppose here. So what you will do, you will first create something like a box, and it will keep happening somewhere in memory. You cannot guarantee the memory address. It can be created anywhere. So suppose 30 box is introduced. So again, it will check if head is empty. No, head is not none head. There is something in head. I can see a lot of things in head. So what it will do? First, it will do box dot next. Let me highlight the line. Box dot next equals to self dot head. Again, go slowly. Do not think much. Do not think much. So box dot next will point to head, and it will be pretending like 30 is being added at the starting. And the next line, what it is written? Head will be shifted to the box. So head will be shifted to the box now. Head will be at the first place. Let me delete the previous part of head. Okay, by mistakenly I have deleted the value as well. Let me delete. Let me rewrite it. Yeah. So now it will look like this. So as the name suggests, 30 is being added at the starting. Insert at beginning. So let me do one thing. Obviously, I have a wish to check what is happening here. So to do that, I have to display as well all the things. So to display, let me write another code. Suppose, okay, if anyone press 5, he or she will be able to see what is happening. So here I will write some code like guha dot display. And let me go here, let to define the display definition. So def display, yep, something like this. And here I will say like if the self head is none, suppose, obviously, if there is nothing, what you will print. So if self dot head is none, if at the starting, if someone hits enter, like it's 5, they like I want to see what is there in linked list. So nothing is created. So obviously for that mad person, I will print like list is empty or something like that. Whatever you want, you can print. You can even print like you are a stupid person, you want to see something at the starting. First create that, then try to check what is created. Anything you can print. For the time being, we are printing list is empty. But if not, if the list is not empty, if head is holding something, what I will do, I will create a temp. So temp is something similar to the head. Again, it is a local variable. It is introduced inside the else. So outside the else block, no one will recognize the temp, but head will always be there. So temp will be starting from head and it will keep going. It will keep going in the sense while temp, until we have some value inside temp, until temp is not none, it will keep printing the value inside. So I will keep printing temp.data, and next time temp will move to the next node. Let me explain what I'm trying to write. So let's go line by line. So if head is not none, temp will become self.head. So this is the existing linked list. So temp will be defined here. First, it is a local variable. Temp is none, while temp means temp has some value, right? Yeah. So the loop will go on. The next line, it is written print temp data. So print temp data, what it will print? You can see in temp data, 30 is there. So in the output screen, 30 will be printed. Everyone will be able to see 30. I'm showing you, I'm just running the program in few minutes. Then temp will move to the next part. So temp now will be moved to the next node. Temp will move to the next. Which is the next? Obviously, you can see it is pointing to this node with the value 20. So it will shift it to the second node. So temp, again, the same question in the while loop. Temp is empty. We have something in temp, right? Yes. So it will again print the temp data, that is 20. So in the output screen, user will be able to see the value 20. And again, it will move to the next node. Temp equals to temp.next. So temp now will be moved to the last node and it will print 10. And it will move, now temp move to the next node, that is none. So that means it will be grounded. It will be somewhere grounded, means it is not having any value anymore. Do not think like none or something. It will be disappeared or it will be having none. Something, whatever you can think. So there is no next node. So temp will be grounded or something. So meanwhile, obviously it has already printed 30, 20, 10, and in the output screen, everyone will be able to see the value of temp. Just try to understand what I'm trying to write. Later, after 3 classes, obviously you will also be able to write all those things. Okay, so let me run the program now. Though it is not completed, we still not written few features, but here, so here it is saying an indented block. Okay, ch equals to 3. Okay. So let me write it somewhere like pass or something. I forgot if we can write that. So let me run again. Yeah, it is running. I will write some code here later, not now. So let me insert one, that is insert at beginning. Okay, something again I did mistake. Enter the value you want to insert. Okay, something I did wrong. Okay, I have to write int input. So my bad. I always do some mistakes. So if you are doing the mistakes again, just have some patience and check what are the mistakes you are doing. So now again, if I try like insert at beginning, let me give 1. It is asking for the value you want to insert. Let me give 10. Again, I'm clicking on 1 and giving the value 20. Again, I'm giving 1 and giving the value 30. So we are done with entering 3 values. So now if I want to display, I'm clicking on 5. So if I'm clicking on 5, I should see 30, 20, and 10. You can see. So that's what I was trying to build. User will not be able to understand what is happening inside. Like we do not know how our phone numbers are saved in our phone. Is it saved in a list, or is it saved in a tuple, or is it saved in a dictionary, or is it saved in a linked list? We do not know. Okay, so like the users as well, will just able to see 30, 20, 10. He or she will expect 30 to be printed first because he or she has done insert at beginning. So if you inserting at the beginning, obviously 30 should come first, then 20, then 10. So the user is getting the desired value and he or she will be happy with that. Okay, so that's the thing I try to mean. Okay, I can do one thing. I do not want to change the, okay, the program is still running. Look, program is still running. So to exit that, what do I need to do? I need to click on 6. If I click 6, the program will be ended. Now I can make some changes. So I can do something like end equals to something like this. I do not want to change the line. And at the end, if possible, you can put an enter. But in the in between, I do not want to change the line. I want to print 30, 20, 10 together. So it looks something like this. Just let me know in the comment section if you are able to understand or not. And I will request before going for the next part, just revise these things. Just rerun the class and try to understand this. Something like that. Okay. So, so, uh, okay. So let me go now to the next part. That is insert. Okay, let me go to the option number 3, delete from beginning. So for simplicity of the drawing, I just make it aligned in a serial way. So it will be easier for us to understand the pattern. Otherwise, the note can be allocated anywhere. Okay, but I'm just make the drawing in the serial way. So now if I go for the this option, like option 3, delete from beginning. Suppose now if you want to delete something from the beginning, so let me call it like guha dot delete from beginning. Anyway, you can give any name, but I'm giving some name like this. And obviously we did not need to provide any value because we are deleting, we are not adding. So here I'm just, okay, let me copy this thing. I am a bit lazy person, so better to copy things. It will make things quickly. So I can write something like delete from beginning. And here, same thing. If you are if anyone try to delete something at the starting, it will say list is empty. Otherwise, how to delete? So initially, your head will be obviously at the first position. So now, if you want to delete something, the easiest way is to move the head at the next position. Because in linked list, you can go forward, but you cannot go come backward. So from node 30, you have the address of the next node. Means from node 30, you can go to 20, but there is no way you can go back to 40. So if you just move your head, that will be enough. And that is the reason we do not move the head. If you move the head, you will lose some values. Okay. So here I'm just writing self head will become self head dot next simply. So that means it will be deleted. So let's try if it is really working or not. Let me insert something. Okay, something I'm doing wrong. Yeah, let me insert something. 110, 120, 130, 140. I have inserted 4 values. If I try to take a look, what are those values? If I click 5 for display, so it will be 40, 30, 20, 10. So now if I click 3 just to delete from beginning, so 40 should be deleted. Something happened. I don't know. I clicked already 3. So if I now click 5 to display, if really it is deleted or not, you can see it is deleted. 40 is deleted and I can see 30, 20, 10. Okay. So this is one way of delete, but it is not ethical. Suppose if you are a doctor and if anyone says like, okay, I have some problem, I have some tumor or I have something and I need to cut it down. So you are not cutting it down actually. You are somehow make some scenarios like you are pretending to be like cutting something. So it is not good thing, it is not ethical. So we are not deleting anything. Just because of we cannot go back to the previous node, we are here just moving the head. And for users, they will think like it is deleted. They can never go back to 40 because the address of the 40 is nowhere written. So from this node, we have a link of head. So from head, you can only go forward, not go back to the earlier nodes. So it is not ethically right. So what should we do? Okay, let me do the exit because each time I forgot to exit. Let me click 6 for exit. Yeah. So now here, ethically, what will be the good thing? First, introduce something called temp, and that will be suppose holding the head, self.head. Now, move the head, obviously, but before moving head, assign something called temp here. Okay, as the name suggests, it is a temporary variable, not because of the name, because we are defining it inside the else block. That's why it will be local variable. So now what I will do, I will just cut the link between temp and head. Temp next equals to none. Again, we are our purpose is done. User is not able to see 40, but ethically it is not good because we are not deleting anything. So now we are doing temp next equals to none. If we write this line, what will happen? The link between temp and head, that is currently temp next, is referring to some node. We will make it none. So this part will be gone. Check the diagram. So there is no link between temp and head now. Now you can make a message as well if you want, obviously. So like we always feel good when we get some message like, okay, temp data is deleted or something like that. So here I'm just writing temp data is deleted or something you can write. And at the end, if you want, you can make the whole block as none. That also you can do. So whole block none means you are cutting it down. But if you want, you can make it fully none. Means nothing. So it will be disappeared if you write this line. But again, only this line will be satisfactory enough. If you want to write some extra line, this line will also be satisfactory because you are cutting the link between those two. If you want to go more, then this line will also be okay. Okay, because we are destroying the node totally. So let me run. Let me check if I have done any more mistakes or not. Okay, no. So if I just do 1, 10, 120, 130, 140. So I have now 4 nodes. If I just display 40, 30, 20, 10, you can see. Now if I choose 3, just I want to delete from beginning. So 40 is deleted. It is now prompting some message. So now if I click 5 to display, it will show 30, 20, 10. Okay, so that's how it works. Let me click 6 to exit, something like that. So again, I'm saying if you are feeling something like not understand correctly, so better to go through whatever we have done, just go through again. Okay, that will be a good thing. So you can pause the class here and go back to the earlier 3 methods. Okay, so now if I go forward, suppose like if I want to add the insert at ending part, because whatever we are doing now, adding and deleting everything from the starting. So now for the choice 2, I am just adding something like insert at ending. So it is the second last feature I want to add. So insert at ending again. So that means if anyone try to insert something, that will be added after 10. Okay, so the same steps I will follow. Oh, sorry. Where is the program? Yeah. So the same step I will follow. Like, okay, let me go to the insert at beginning part. Yeah. Let me copy this. So insert at ending, again, it will ask for some value. Let me insert the value. Okay, where it is, where it is. Yeah, here it is. So let me copy this and let me put it here as well, because for insert at ending also you will require some value to be given by the user. So now if I come to the function where it is insert at ending, let me write the name correctly, insert at ending. So here again, I'm creating some box with the value. So suppose someone created the new value as 50, say. So I'm just drawing it here just to be close with the last node, because I will be adding that to here. But in general, it might be created anywhere in the memory. At the starting, at the ending, it will be anywhere. So as per the first line, it will create a box, and inside that it will put the value at the first integer portion, and on the second part it will put none. We know that. Okay, as per this first line, line number 17, you can see. So next part is obviously like previous. If there is no such thing called head, head will take the box if it is the first node. But here in this case, it is not the first case. So what do I need to do? Somehow I need to reach into this block of 10. This block of 10. I somehow I need to reach there. I want to mean I have to reach there. Why I have to reach there? Because if I reach there, I can make a link between these two. I just need to make a link from 10 to 40. That's all. So that's why I need to reach here. So let's see how can I reach there. So what I will do, I already used some loop to print all the data. Let me copy that. Let me copy that. So if I copy that loop, so temp is starting from head until temp is null. So I will make some small modification here. I will write until temp next is not none, until there will be something in temp next. Okay, because if I do the temp will go till the ground, till nothing. So I want to stop here. So until temp next. Okay, so what I will do inside, I'm not going to print anything. I will just move forward. Temp equals to temp next, temp equals to temp next. So what will happen? Let's see. Temp is starting from head. Again, let's explore. Temp is starting from here. So temp next is null. No, I can see something is pointing here. So temp next is definitely not none. So move the temp to the next part. Here it is. So again, if temp next is none, next means I'm referring to the second part of temp. Okay, temp next means I'm referring to this part. So obviously it is not none. It is having something written to go for the next node. So temp next is not none. So again, I will move forward and temp will go to the last part. So here, again, I'm saying temp next is none. Answer is yes. Now temp next is none. The second part of the temp block is none. It is written already. So I'm telling stop here. If temp next is none, stop here. So now what I'm doing after the while loop, I'm just creating simply temp dot next equals to box, and that's all. Both of these are temporary variables, so no one will recognize them later, but the link, we have created it successfully. The link, it is created. So let me create a link here. So here a link will be created. So 40 will be added successfully at the end. So there will be no more none here. So a link will be created simply. Okay, no none. It will 10, the block 10, this node will now refer to the node 40. Okay, so the link is created. So that is how you will end something at the end. Okay, let me try to run. So now if I insert something at the beginning, suppose 10, 20, and 30, and if I display, obviously 30, 20, 10, you can see. Now I am interested to add something at the end. So I'm just adding 2. I'm choosing 2, and now I'm trying to add 40. So let's see if I click 5, let's see how it looks. Look, it is now 30, 20, 10, 40, something like that. Okay, so here the main difference is, okay, let me click 6 to exit now. Yeah, so the main difference is here I'm running the while loop until temp next become none. Just look closely for the display, it was temp is not none. But here I will stop for insert at ending. But for display, I will go till the ground because the value inside also I need to print. That's why it was temp. And here for insert at ending, it is temp next. Okay. So if you are not able to understand something, just let me know in the comment section. I will try to make you understand by giving some examples. I don't know what kind of problem you will face, but I will try to make it clear. Okay, so if you are not able to understand, just revise this thing and try again. So that's the part. So now the next one and the last one for the day, how to delete something from the ending. So let me go here and let me put this line once again. If anyone choose 4, that means he or she wants to do delete from ending. And if I go here, delete from ending, I have to define something new. So delete from ending, and no input is required because I'm going to delete something. So how to delete now? How to delete something? Again, I have to come to the second last node. Just think in a calm way. I have to somehow reach to this block. Similarly, I have added this link. Now I have to cut this link. Then only I'll be able to delete the last node. So my primary target should be to reach at this point, the second last node. But how I can reach to the second last node? So there is multiple way. Let me show you the easiest way now. So delete from ending. First, if the list is empty, obviously have head is none. You can directly print stupid, the list is empty, what you are trying to delete. You can write something like that. If it is not empty, if head is not empty, then we can do few things. Let me delete till this point. I don't know if last 2 line will be needed or not, but let me start again. Let me start with this code once again, which is helping me to reach out to the last node. Let me copy this thing and paste it here. Have I copied? Not. Let me copy again. And let me paste here. So what I'm doing again, temp is starting from head, while temp next equals to none is not none, it is going forward. So obviously temp will end at the last position, but I do not have any intention to go till the last. I have an intention to go till the second last. So what I will do, I will introduce another variable. I'm just trying to show you all possible ways. In next class, we will not going to learn any new approaches. We will just check few more algorithm. So this is the last approach, how to introduce the second variable if needed. So what I'm doing, I'm introducing another variable called temp2. Let me introduce it here. So we have now two variable, temp2, and obviously we have temp. Obviously we have temp. So now whenever temp is moving forward, I'm just doing one small thing. I'm just holding the old value of temp into temp2. So let's see. So temp2 and temp both are starting from head. While temp next is not none, it will go forward. So before temp move to the next position, listen very carefully. Before temp moving to the next position, temp2 is holding the old place of temp. So temp2 is holding the old place of temp, and now temp will move forward. So temp will go to here. You can see. Again, next turn. Before temp is moving forward, temp2 will hold the place of temp, and then temp will move forward. So temp is just holding the old place of temp. You can see. Again, temp next is not none now, because I can see 10 is having address of 40. So temp next is still not none. So what I will do, first temp2 equals to temp. What does that mean? Temp2 will hold the place of temp, and next what will happen, the next line you can see, temp equals to temp next means temp will move forward to the last position. Got it? So temp will move to the next position, but before that temp2 is holding the old position of temp. Now temp next is none. Yes, temp next is none. It is no more having value, so it will return empty here. So that means the loop is done. So now we are in a situation like this. Temp is at last position, temp2 is at the second last position. So what I will do now, I will simply just feel like a doctor, and just simply I will delete the connection between temp2 and temp. So I will write temp2 next equals to none. So whenever I run this line, it will cut the link. So now you can see temp2 next become none again. So I'm trying to delete from the ending. So I cut the link between these two. Okay, by this single line. So it will be deleted automatically. If we can print something like temp data is deleted, means 40 is deleted. And next I can make the temp none. But again, until this line, we have already deleted. If you keep this line, that will be okay. But yeah, being an ethical programmer, I can print something like, okay, temp data is deleted, and I can make temp really to none. The full temp will be destroyed then. Okay, so something in this way, I can delete the value from the ending. So now for the user, what will happen if I just run it once again? So let me insert from ending. Okay, so I'm giving choice 2, I'm giving 10, I'm giving choice 2, giving 20. Okay, let me clear this drawing. So 20, I'm giving 2, giving 30, giving 2, giving 40. So if I display, if I click 5, I will get something in forward way now, because I'm inserting at the ending. So it is 10, 20, 30, 40. So now if I choose to delete from beginning, I will click on 3. So 10 will be deleted, you can see. If I choose 4 to delete something from the ending, then it should delete 40. Let's see. Okay, some error is I'm getting. Sorry, I did some mistake again. What are the mistake? Let me try to understand. Guha delete from ending, temp data is deleted. Local variable temp reference before assignment. Okay. Okay, I have written TEMP. Sorry, from my end, it should be TMP. It should be TMP. Yeah, my bad. So if I run again, very quickly, I'm inserting those data without explaining much. So now I have, if I display 10, 20, 30, sorry, I have added at the beginning, 40, 30, 20, 10. But my intention is to delete something from the ending. So if I now click 4, let's see if it works or not. It should delete 10. Yeah, you can see 10 is deleted. So now its whole branch should work. Everything should work. So now if I display, it should be 40, 30, 20. Okay. So now again, if I want to add something at the ending, let me choose 2 and let me add 100 at the ending. So if I display, if I click 5, it will be 40, 30, 20, 100. Now, if I again choose to delete something from beginning, I'm adding 3 for delete from beginning, you see here. So I am clicking 3. So 40 is deleted because 40 was at the first position, you see. And if I try to delete something from ending, if I click 4, so 100 will be deleted because 100 was at the last position. So we have deleted 40 and 100. Now, if I click 5, so it will be 30 and 20. Okay, something like that. If I choose any other option like 55, so it will show me invalid choice. So the whole pipeline is working now. So let me click 6 and choose exit. So that's all. So let me know if you have any doubt. So for the first day, do not think like how we can write all these programs and all. So just try to follow what I have done. Just try to understand the logic I have done. Okay, that's all. How we will write the program, we have plenty of time left. You can check it later. Okay, so just try to understand. For the first day, it will be enough. If you trust me, it will be enough. I'm still in doubt because in these online classes, I cannot interact with you directly. So I'm just afraid if you really got to understand or not. If you are not, try to revise these things once again and let me know if you are facing some problems or not. So otherwise, we have some nice exercise for this. So we have a group. If you are following our classes, so you will probably know that. If you are new, you can go to this group. You can send the request. The group link is mentioned in the description section. If you go to the media and if you go to the album, you will get something called data structure exercise. You will get an album like that. If you go inside that album, it will be chapter number 4. Yeah, here it is, because all other previous chapters are for sorting, for stack and queue, for all those things are already mentioned in my list classes. That is a part of the Python regular series of classes. I will mention the link of Python playlist as well. But this thing you need to do for the time being. This is new. This is a part of data structure entirely. So singular linked list, we need to build something, a menu like this with 17 choices. Today we have made 5 choices like insert at beginning, insert at ending, this one delete from beginning, delete from ending and display. But you have to create a menu like this with all the features. Okay, suppose it is asking for insert at position. Insert at a position means whenever someone choose option 3, he or she will get two two input he or she need to give. First is enter the position where you need to put some value. Suppose you choose 4, means you are choosing the 4th place. Now the second option will come, enter the value you want to insert. So you are giving suppose 100. So that means at the 4th position, you are trying to put 100, something like that. Okay, so these are those options. If you are not if you are facing any doubts like what is exact the requirement is, just let me know in the comment section. I will try to make you understand what is the requirement. But we need to solve all these things. Okay, if you are stuck somewhere, I will help you obviously. But again, this is just the starting. Just try to understand. Just try once from yourself. That's all. Otherwise, I will be there. I will be showing all those things in the next class. So today we have just learned 5 features of linked list, and that I guess a good start for the day. Let's see what we can solve in the upcoming classes. So that's all for the day, and let me know if you face some error. See you soon. Bye.